SpongeBob?
Hi, how are you?
What makes the world of a game more believable? Maybe setting it in first person, the NPCs you meet along your journey, playing an animation for consuming items, or what I want to talk about in this video, the lore. When making a game, one of the most important aspects, regardless of who inhabits your story, is the world it's set in. Be it a fantasy, a cyberpunk dystopia, alternate timeline in the 60s, or a modern timeline that takes place in the year it came out, it creates the rules and structure of what is and isn't possible, the history, culture, and logic to make the world feel consistent. Lore is the background info that enriches your characters, story, and the world itself. And let me tell you, every aspect of this game oozes lore. Down to the cover of the game. Who's this guy? Is he just a random hunter in the world, or is he a key player? The fact that when you beat the game, you see a short clip of a kids show, insinuating that these gruesome films were recorded over it. The main menu acting as a DVD menu where you can select different scenes and bonus features just like a real DVD. The instruction manual that comes with the game teaching you how to play also acts as a catalog for the snuff films made. There's even an advert for signing up as a hunter to partake in the films and many other articles to read through, all playing part in creating a backstory and building the world up, an almost tangible grasp in the universe of Manhunt, the feeling that you're just a small drop in the pond in this universe. Shit's been happening long before you arrived and will continue long after. Up until about halfway through the game, you have Charles Starkweather, also known as the director, talking in your ear and walking you through each scene, encouraging you and getting off on your kills. A former director from Vinewood, who was cast out and now spends his time directing films with a little more practical effects.
Cash, I made you!
Well, he's definitely dead now, and most people would assume that's the end of the main antagonist, but Starkweather is nothing more than just a pawn in the underground snuff ring. The real antagonist isn't even in the game. Well, maybe. Mr. Nasty, the financial backer and owner of Valiant Video Enterprises, the company that runs the production and distribution of the films, and to my knowledge the only place you see mention of this company in the entire game is a van in the first level. But that's it. For most players, they'll just think this is a random company in the world, but if you search outside the game, like the instruction manual and the website that Rockstar put up back in the day, you'd know this van is more important than it seems. All of this information being outside of the game's world brings another level of realism and believability to it. Normally, once you turn off the game, the world of it stops existing. But thanks to the website and the manual, the universe extends beyond the game. Another character that never made it officially into the game called Scarecrow, a former leader of one of the gangs, the Smileys, wielding a homemade axe and a complete psychopath. In the bonus features, you'll come across his bio, and one thing sticks out. Dressed in rags, he resembles any other derelict. This man, a random NPC, a drunk stumbling over his words and legs alike, is the Scarecrow. Only found in the bonus features would you know how dangerous and violent he is. Given no information unless you go out of your way to find it adds so much more depth to him. These two characters add so much to the world and helps elevate it. And hell, one of them most players wouldn't even know exists, so when you do learn about them, walking through the dark streets of Carcer City becomes much more eerie, knowing that who we think is at the top of the food chain is no more than just a pawn like you. Now let's go back in time a little bit to Grand Theft Auto 3. On one of the radio stations, Lips 106, we will hear this little snippet.
So I'm sitting here reading the Liberty Tree, and it says, in nearby Carcer City, a good day for law and order as Police Chief Gary Shaver was cleared of corruption charges in a controversial decision by the courts. Let's hope those missing witnesses turn up safe and sound.
At first, it might just seem like some random thing Rockstar threw in, but actually it connects the 3D era of GTA to Manhunt, as Carcer City is the place Manhunt takes place, and good old Gary Schaefer is in charge of the police that are tasked with hunting us down. We even get to hear Gary talking to Charles Starkweather.
Hey, remember who you're talking to, you son of a...
Listen, you fuck, it's your job to clean up this city's mess. That's what you get paid for.
Having all this kind of info take place in other games, the website, instruction manual, basically anywhere outside of actually playing the game helps elevate it so much more. Having all this lore, some of which you'd have to go out of your way to find, connect the dots, and learn about like it's a real place and has real history, makes the overall experience of the game much more enjoyable and easier to get lost in the world.